questions about capping the Supreme Court after the president nominated 7 new judges to the highest court. What more can you tell us?
Currently, 12 judges on the Supreme Court. The president has nominated 7 more. There are calls for a cap on the number of judges that sit on Ghana's highest court, and this has been a raging debate even from the tenure of President Akufo-Addo when he nominated some 2 judges which stalled in Parliament. Mahama Yariga has been given such a nuanced position talking about the various jurisdictions that the Supreme Court has to deal with and the broader national debate that must be had about whether or not there must be a cap on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, there's been a lot of argument about the need for capping the number of the Supreme Court judges, but there's also always been a pushback in terms of the workload. And I recall that when we're even vetting the current Chief Justice, I had a proposal that we should have a separate constitutional court. In some jurisdictions, you see, what you call the Supreme Court is actually the constitutional court. And as a constitutional court, they focus only on constitutional matters. But the argument has always been that our Supreme Court is both an appeals court and a constitutional court. So the cases that gain prominence are the constitutional matters, which are not many. And it gives a misleading perception that the work is not that much. Why do we need all these numbers? But
well, we heard the Mahama Yariga. We'll return to Kweku shortly for updates on other events in Parliament shortly. But before that, we can hear from Chairman of the MPP's Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Frank Davis, who has raised concerns over the future of judicial independence. He spoke on PM Express on the Joy News channel.
I'm very sure that the Chief Justice and the lawyers will certainly know what to do next. But I'm really disturbed by what is going on. And if we don't take time with the greatest of respect, our long-held, hallowed principle of judicial independence possibly maybe stands a threat. I am not too comfortable with what is going on. I mean, well, the Chief Justice in a supplementary affidavit which was struck out by the court, he made some very interesting and revealing hypotheses. And even though the justices thought they had a reason for cutting out the supplementary affidavit, the content are a bit worried.
Specifically, which parts of that worry you?
Well, I mean, fundamentally, he's complaining about rights being abused. I mean, instances of, just casual reading. The lawyers are not permitted to take some into the committee room, but the petitioners have their phones and laptops, and lawyers are denied that benefit or opportunity. For me, if I'm not saying what she has deposed to is the factual truth, but that is what she has said, and that is what we should take as what she has said, because there will be no response to what she said. But if that is what has really happened, then from the get-go, what is it that is being done?
Frank Davis speaking on PM Express there. Well, Kweku is still on the line this time. Tell us, what else is happening in Parliament, Kweku?
Being only the third Parliament resumed, a lot of papers would have to be laid regarding reports of committees that have been working over the period that Parliament has been on recess. We expect that there will be statements on a number of national issues. They are flooding all over. Members of Parliament are trying to stress the need for the country to build resilience. And so right after these papers are laid, we expect that there will be some statements on some of these matters of national interest, including the minority raising issues with the ongoing process to remove the Chief Justice from office.
Thank you very much, Kweku Asante there. Now, moving on, the former Minister for Food and Agriculture and current Member of Parliament for Abetifi, Dr. Brian Champong, has announced the formation of an exploratory committee to assess the viability of a presidential bid within the New Patriotic Party. In a statement, Dr. Champong says the decision follows growing encouragement from a broad spectrum of party faithful and extensive consultation with family and well-wishers. Member of our political desk, Elton Brobe, joins me in the studio with more on this. What more are we learning from this statement, Elton?
Well, the committee, he knows, will engage with grassroots members, key stakeholders and constituents across the country to elevate whether his vision aligns with the aspiration of the party and the Ghanaian people. The committee, according to him, is expected to present its findings within 4 weeks. Now, he says that this dedicated committee shares his commitment not only to discipline and unity within the party, but also job creation, food security, youth and infrastructure development, safety and security, and good governance within the country. Dr. Champong described his journey in the MPP as lifelong and deeply personal, citing his experience as a grassroots organizer, party staffer, 4-term member of parliament, cabinet minister, and a long-time party financier. These roles, he says, and experiences have granted him invaluable insight into the sacrifice, dedication, and strategic vision required to build and sustain the foundation of the MPP. And he affirms his loyalty to the MPP and expressed confidence in the party's ability to overcome current challenges and lead Ghana to a brighter future.
So, Elton, the political desk, your assessment, how do you think all this will pan out?
Well, that's a serious contest coming up. I mean, this will be the first time he put himself up for election to lead the party in the 2028 election. Now, Dr. Bawumia, who led the party in the 2024 election, himself some few weeks ago spoke to the fact that it will always be difficult for a first-timer to win the presidency, giving indication that he's gone through it, he's done that, and he's more than ready to lead the party to win. Now, the 2028 election is quite an interesting one because President Mahama would not be contesting again.
Yeah.
The NDC will have their own internal issues. How both parties present themselves to be the obvious choice for the Ghanaian people will remain something that we are all looking forward to. Remember that the other matter against Dr. Bawumia, what other people have been spoken about, is the fact that before he led the party in the last election, he was a vice president. He enjoyed some kind of, incumbency advantage. Now, with that out of the way and his true strength coming into play, would that be enough for him to win the election? Knowing very well that Kennedy Japan, who has been member of parliament for so long, enjoys the support of some MPs and the grassroots of the party. Well, this is a contest that we're all looking forward to. But as of this day, it will be difficult to tell who is likely to emerge winner, even though I would say that for now, the front runners may be Kennedy Japan and Dr. Bawumia.
Wow. Thank you very much, Elton Broby of our political desk there. We stay on the MPP because lawyers for the embattled Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Inchubuesiaku are working around the clock to meet his full bail condition. Chairman Wontumi was granted a 50 million cedis bail last night with 2 sureties to be justified after his arrest and interrogation since Tuesday. He, however, had to spend the night in the custody of Yoko office because he was unable to meet the bail conditions. There is a latest development on that, and we'll take you live to the Yoko headquarters, but for that shortly. But first, this is what transpired last night, captured by my colleague James Aveji.
Chairman Wontumi was officially granted bail at about 8 p.m. Wednesday night after a long day of interrogations and legal tussle between his lawyers and officials of Yoko. His lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, confirmed to Joy News that the bail conditions included 50 million Ghana cedis with 2 sureties to be justified, which at the time he said they were working around the clock to meet. But by 9:30 p.m., Andy Apiakubi said they were not able to meet the conditions, especially considering the fact that the sureties would have to be verified and admitted by Yoko at that time of the day. Failure to meet the conditions compelled Chairman Wontumi to spend the night in Yoko custody. Earlier, former Attorney General Godfrey Odame was also at the Yoko premises when efforts were underway to pull strings together to meet the demands of the investigators. By 8:30 p.m., dozens of supporters who massed up on day 2 of his arrest had already left. His team of lawyers are resuming work this morning to meet the bail conditions to secure his freedom. James Savaji, Yoko headquarters, Accra.
And James joins us from the Yoko headquarters. James, we're learning the part of the bail condition has been met. Tell us more about that.
Well, Hannah, about an hour ago, his counsel confirmed to me that they've been able to secure 1 out of the 2 sureties. And so they are working to secure the second surety. If that is done, he would be granted bail finally. He'll take his freedom. We also learning that he's been moved from the Yoko headquarters here to a hospital in Accra for further health treatment. That his situation, deteriorated over the period, and so he's currently not at the Yoko head office. He's receiving treatment at the hospital.
But then, James, what is the second surety that he has to meet?
So the total bail condition, 50 million Ghana cedis with two sureties, all of them to be justified. The authorities are not clear. We are not clear what exactly are supposed to be provided, but all we are told is that one of those sureties have been met. The second is what they are working around to secure.
James Aveji with the latest from the Yoko headquarters there. In a related development, former president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Afel Moni, is demanding swift prosecution of those behind the assault on Joy News journalist Lateef Idrisu. He describes the attack as shameful affront to press freedom and the rule of law. Lateef was covering the arrest of the Ashanti Regional MPP chairman, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, when some party supporters verbally and physically assaulted him. Mr. Moni says the incident must not go unpunished.
This is highly unacceptable in a civilized society such as ours. We are in a dispensation of rule of law, and in such a dispensation, anyone or those who find themselves on the wrong side of the law should be made to taste the biting edge of the law. This is a pure act of impunity. And one thing about impunity is that if it's not dealt with surgically, it ignites a self-propelling cycle, which makes it very difficult to deal with. So there's a need, as I said, you cited a lot of instances, and this point to the fact that people will continue to act with impunity. If there's not enough measures, if there are no enough measures to deal surgically with such acts of impunity.
Well, there's been some condemnation from some more groups, and joining me in the studio is Michael Ashali with details of that. Tell us about the groups and exactly what they are saying.
Well, Hannah, let's start from the United Press for Development Network. They are expressing outrage and utter condemnation of the unprovoked and barbaric assault on Joy News' journalists. They are making some demands. It says that we are further appalled by this act of criminality occurred in broad daylight. They're demanding the following immediate action: a full-scale investigation by the Ghana Police Service into the occurrences surrounding the assault on Mr. Lateef, swift arrest and prosecution of all perpetrators involved in this shameful attack, an unqualified public apology from the leadership of the MPP, and again, a clear assurance from the Ghanaian state that journalists will be protected in the discharge of their constitutional mandate. And this is from the United Press for Development Network. Okay. There's another statement here from the Africa Development Council, and they are also calling on the president to intervene. I'll read excerpts of that. It says that the group first is condemning the attack on Joy News reporter, and again, the council will not renege on its advocacy for good governance, accountability, and industrial development. The council is using this opportunity to appeal to the President of the Republic of Ghana to, as a matter of urgency, direct the police to do the needful as far as this assault case is concerned. Okay. And there's a final one to the Ghana Police Service that the Africa Development Council hopes the country's IGP will not wait until a directive comes from the presidency before taking action.
Talking about the police, yesterday they released a statement indicating that they are investigating. What's the latest on that?
Well, Hannah, this is a 3-pointer press release that they have put out, and the second point says that the Regional Police Command is currently reviewing all available evidence, including video recordings and eyewitness testimonies, to establish the facts of the case and identify any individuals responsible. Hannah.
And a quick update. How's Lateef doing at the moment?
Well, Hannah, all I can say for now is that he's undergoing treatment.
Thank you very much, Michael Ashali there. We'll take a short break here. When we come back, National Security Coordinator donates desk to Kapoliga Basic School after Joy News highlighted the plight in our education series, Crumbling Start.
I was very, very sad whenever I visit this school. But now they make like I rush from my sick bed. Wow. Thank you, National Security. Thank you, School for Life. Thank you, Joy News.
And Ghana to host a National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving on Republic Day.
It's a bold and unifying decision that invites all of us, regardless of religion, ethnicity, or political affiliation to gather around a single purpose, gratitude, and hope.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, DNA Yamsa. And you stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it this way, you have it now. New Yanits now. No, be a baby, some was some demoni in us. DNA Yamsa. Fair quiet, yes, in Beer Association Ontario. Uses Stay Soft and New Yanits now. Nani boss to tap from cry. A fabric softener. And you near say, sir. Choose to Stay Soft. No, who's so say, no. FDID a dreading crowd to yatu.
You're welcome back, Mubarak. I told you I wanted Ghana to win at least one, and that did not come.
Yeah, I didn't know what you ate yesterday, though. But of course, your prediction did not come to pass because the Black Stars lost by 2-1. Yes, but Otuado, the head coach of Ghana, he remains encouraged by the performance of some debutants. Okay, the likes of Kalabi Renchi and Christopher Bonsu. They made a strong impression, giving the technical team valuable insights.
So for me as a coach, surely we got some answers about players. I think some young players did really well, and we're still learning, trying to improve, and I think we got a whole lot of answers from our coaching staff, and we have to continue. So we use this also to give some good talents a chance who did well, and I think we saw today that some young guys can really have a very good career first of all, but also future in the national team, and some, I have to say, use their chance.
Yeah, so that's the head coach of the Black Stars, Otuado.
Well, we move on. And for years, pupils of Kapoliga Basic School knelt and sat on bare floors to learn. But after Joy News highlighted their plight in the Crumbling Star series, help finally came. Emmanuel Jivenu reports from the Upper East region.
I was very sad whenever I visit this school, but now they make like I rush from my sick bed.
For years, pupils of Kopelaga Basic School in the Talensi district of the Upper East region sat on the bare floor to learn.
Yes. We don't have chairs, that's why we are sitting in the floor like that. As we ourselves, our mothers cannot buy chairs for us. We are not happy at all. I'm not happy because I have not have chairs.
Their plight was highlighted on Joy News as part of the education series Crumbling Start. Soon after, the National Security Coordinator, DCOP Abdul Osman Razak, responded. Hakim Duwijwa is the Deputy Director of Human Security and the National Security.
To the students, know this. We see you, we hear you, and we are with you. You are the future of this nation, and we will not let the future sit on the floor.
In all, 60 monodecks, and 5 teachers' tables were donated to the school. There is also a promise to renovate the existing building and construct a new classroom block for the pupils.
We will renovate this structure and build a permanent one in addition to that.
For the chief of Kupalaga, the sight of children finally seated at desks brought overwhelming joy.
I was very, very excited whenever I visit this school. But now, they make like I rush from my sick bed. So thank you, National Security. Thank you, School for Life. Thank you, Johnny.
Emmanuel Jivenu brought us that report. Well, the business community in Ghana says it is beginning to heave a sigh of relief following the recent appreciation of the cedi. Some business leaders on the sidelines of the multi-sectorial engagement on the implementation of the 24-hour economy urged government to sustain the momentum. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba has more from the Jubilee House.
And not only they bring the exemption what is required for that.
More than 100 key players in Ghana's business space have gathered at the banquet hall inside the Jubilee House. The agenda? Ghana's 24-hour economy policy. And in the corridors and over coffee, another topic dominates the recent appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi.
My name is Yang.
Among them is the managing director of Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, Yang, who says the strengthening cedi is breathing new life into the automobile industry.
That's the great news for us. Equipment are heavy value equipments. For example, if one equipment is $200,000, the rate was 16, then it's 3.2 million cedis. But now if the rate is 12, now it's 2.4 million cedis. See how much money clients are saving. So it's our industry is booming because of the appreciation of cedi.
Freight forwarders are also feeling the impact. President of the Ghana Freight Forwarders Association, Stephen Ajokache, says the recent currency gains is allowing their clients to clear goods more efficiently.
Maxwell Agbagba brought us that report. Well, religious groups across Ghana have been called upon to actively participate in the upcoming National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, scheduled for the 1st of July, which happens to be Ghana's Republic Day. The event, themed Reflect, Reset and Renew for National Prosperity, is aimed at uniting the nation in spiritual reflection and collective supplication for the country's future. Let's hear from Chairman of the Planning Committee, Elvis Ifuye Ankra.
This is a sacred moment, and it comes to us under a profound national theme. Reflect, reset, and renew for national prosperity. Let me take that again. Reflect, reset, and renew for national prosperity. Reflect on where we've come from as a people, our triumphs, our mistakes, our resilience, and our potential. And as I always say, reflect on why you are a Ghanaian. We are challenged to reset, to abandon the culture of blame, greed, and impunity, and apathy, and embrace truth, discipline, and a shared sense of duty. And we are empowered to renew our faith, renew our unity, renew our commitment to building a prosperous and peaceful Ghana for the next generation.
We heard the Elvis Ifuye Ankra. He's chairman of the Planning Committee for the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. And it's time for the trends. Looks like there's somebody who's been trending since yesterday.
Yes, yes, Hannah, you're right. Well, before I mention her name, the NHIA is trending because the appointment of Anne Sansa Dali, who is a member of the National Health Insurance Authority, her appointment was revoked. Yes, and apparently they did some checks and they found out that she's not really a doctor. You get it? They contacted the school, and the school is saying that they don't know her. So social media, there's a lot of issues that have been coming up as a result of this. So that is why NHIS is trending. So Enoch says that this fake doctor thing is very serious. Someone who was able to fraud her way into being appointed into the board of NHIS whilst posing as a doctor Wow, was able to fraud the presidency. Very interesting. And legend says that make she refund all the salaries paid to her or be jailed. Simple. So, since morning, everyone is just bringing their own theories when it comes to this issue. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, Chelsea's trending. Chelsea has won the UEFA Conference League, and so many Chelsea fans have not made me personally rest. I mean, they've been talking about their win since, but some people are coming at
what? Before you get into your comments, someone says that Chelsea has a lot of female supporters, so the women are happy.
I don't support this. I'm not.
The women are happy.
I'm not part. Anyway, someone says so. This style saying, can they be called European champions? No, only Champions League winners should have that right. So, in as much as they've won, some people are still finding ways and means to throw them.
Obviously,
yeah,
of course. And of course, you also have Ghana, Nigeria, the Unity Cup.
Yeah.
Yes. Nigerians won't let us rest on social media.
They would. Yesterday you told us that they may troll us.
Yes, and they are. They are actually trolling us. One last comment before we go. Ogo says that Ghanaians will use their steady light to watch us in the finals. So that's one job from Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Jackie and Adobia. That's it for the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. You can find more stories on myjoyonline.com. Thanks for choosing us. Pastor Mensa Otabel comes up next with a living word.